Okay, so we should be live, fingers crossed. So I'm just going to open up the YouTube app on my phone so I can see if anyone's watching. Hopefully you can hear me all right, hopefully you can see me all right. This is kind of a test. I've currently got an A6300 set up on a tripod with a shotgun condenser mic, an old shotgun condenser mic attached to it, and I've kind of hacked it a little bit, and I wouldn't say hacked, but I've bodged it. Bodged is a much better word, to be able to live stream. So we're seeing whether this is working, and I'm just going to open it up on my phone so I can tell if it's working or not. Oh, there I am on YouTube. Yeah, that's good. It doesn't look the highest of qualities, but it's all right. I was trying to do this with a webcam earlier, and that literally looked like I was trying to film something with a brick. So we've upgraded. I was also trying to get the GoPro working to do this, and I was thinking about putting a GoPro up in that top corner. You can see that top corner because this lens is so wide. Up in that top corner and having it continuously live, so a continuously live stream of inside the shed, so you can see what I was up to. And I was gonna make a video about me making a video, but I've had a couple of questions about what this whole setup is. Let's turn that on. So when I moved into the shed, I was over that side of it where that light is that you can see, and I couldn't control the light very well, and that was kind of when I was building the shed, that was the spot I was going to use for the shed, for the YouTube videos. I was going to be over there and have the PC and the monitor in the background, and as you can see, I've changed it slightly. Can you even see that? Probably not, but you've seen my videos, you know what they look like. So I was sat at my desk one day and I was looking at this corner and I was thinking, it's a bit of a waste of space. I was planning to put a log burner in here eventually, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. And I was thinking, well, I could put a camera in the corner and I could put lights above it, and then we could shoot still with the same kind of background, but it would just look a bit better, because I really couldn't control the light. I don't know whether you can see the blind. You can see the blind. I love how wide this lens is. Let's do it this way. So we've now got a blind in place so I can film during the day. And I think it's kind of coming together. So I thought I would just give you a quick tour around the setup and let you know what's going on here, because it is quite complicated, but it does work really well. And I'm trying to refine my processes down so that I can make more videos. And if you've seen my video of saying that I've just reached 1,000 subscribers, you'll know that I'm trying to aim for 10,000 subscribers by making a video every single weekday. So today's video is very informal, it's very casual, just me stood here talking to you. This is very last minute as well, so I had a video prepared for today, but that's now going to come out tomorrow. But yeah, let me just talk you through the setup. So first things first, the camera that we've got here, the main A camera, which you can kind of see on this monitor, I don't know how well you can see it, is a Sony A6300 with a 30mm 1.4 lens on it, on a really cheap Manfrotto tripod. Let me just say as well, all of this stuff is just stuff that I had lying around. I haven't bought anything. This is just camera equipment that's kind of obsolete, or we bought it and then we've not ended up using it. So Sony A6300 with a 30mm lens on it. That camera I do actually use a lot, like the one that I'm doing the live stream on. These are the two main cameras that we use. We've got an audio in. Let's talk about audio. So we've got a microphone up here. It's a Audio Technica condenser mic, which is on an arm, so I can move the arm around. I can get that mic closer to my face, but I don't want it to get it in shot, so I've put it up here nice and high. That goes out of the condenser mic, down this lead and into a zoom, because the zoom needs to power the microphone. Because it's a condenser mic, I can't go straight into the A6300, so it needs power. So we go into the zoom, which doesn't record anything, it is there literally to power that microphone. And then we come out of the zoom and directly into the camera, so I don't have to sync any audio at a later date. It's all synced perfectly. I just drop it into my timeline, I can edit away. So the next connection, another thing, the zoom is powered by a 12-volt adapter, so I never have to worry about batteries. And that's a big concern I had when building this setup, was I don't want to have to change batteries. I don't want to have to worry about batteries. I want to stand here, make a video, go and edit the video. I don't want to ever be making something and then run out of battery halfway through that process, because it's infuriating. So the next thing we've got is a HDMI, which is a micro HDMI coming out to a full HDMI into the Andy Cine monitor. This monitor is about £170, £169. It's really clear, it's really good for this kind of thing. We've now upgraded to a small HD focus for our main filming when we're going out, so that can pretty much live there unless I need it for something else, but very rare that I ever will need that monitor. So that's just repurposing all the stuff that's in my drawer that is just unused, and it's working out really nicely. And the last thing we've got coming out of the camera up there is this power lead. So again, powered, don't have to worry about batteries. That'll record for as long as I need it to record for, and it'll never die. Again, the monitor on this really cheap bracket arm that I got off Amazon about 5 years ago, never use it. That's what that is being held up by, and again, that's being powered. So where should we move over to next? So I don't know whether you can see this. You can see this. Such a wide lens. I'm just going to see if there's anyone watching. Let's have a look. If anyone's got any questions, please put them below. I've got no idea if anyone's watching this or not. Fingers crossed, somebody's watching it and somebody will take something away from this. So above here we've got a Sony a6000. This camera is kind of our backup camera, and we don't really use it very much. So we've got two a6300s. We've got this bad boy, which is a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, big mouthful. And we use this and the a6300s more than we use the a6000, but if we've got a job that I need it on, it literally just pops off and we can record there. I've got a really old monopod attached to that and a little foot, and that's screwed into the ceiling, so that's my overhead camera. So if I could move you in, oh, you can see it kind of. So this is the overhead camera monitor, which is an aperture monitor. This was really cheap. It was about £40 years ago. And if I move that stuff out of the way, you can see that I've got a lovely overhead camera monitor. If I'm ever talking about something that I need to show on camera, I've now got this. I only set this up last night, but I'm really happy with this. And it's also got a zoom lens on it. So if I want to go closer, it can go closer. And it's actually got quite a nice minimum focus distance. So if I want to show details of anything, it's really simple to do that. So we've talked about the cameras. I'm going to talk to you about this little thing. There's no light at all around. There we go. So this is just the remote that I use to set the cameras off. I got this the other day as well. Brilliant. I actually bought this. This was £6. So the only two items that I bought on this whole setup are this remote and this little arm for the iPad. So the really good thing about this that I found out last night is that if I want to take a picture for like a thumbnail, then I don't have to lean over and set the focus point. I can just press one button and the focus is done, and it's going to take the picture in 10 seconds, which is really handy. Oh, I missed it. Never mind. And the other thing that it can do is it can start and stop recording. And I didn't realise that it worked with the a6000 as well. So if I press the start and stop button recording, it actually starts both cameras recording at exactly the same time. So when you go and take that into Premiere or DaVinci or whatever you use to edit, you don't have to worry about syncing the camera angles up. So I've got audio that's captured on the camera through this setup, and I've got two cameras that both will record at exactly the same time using this. So I'm all about trying to refine my process and be able to just stand here and start recording and just get on with what I want to do, instead of trying to have to change batteries or start these both at exactly the same time, or even syncing them later, which does take time. I'm trying to refine the process so it's as nice and quick and simple as it can be, so I can put one video out every weekday. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, because I'm really trying to get to 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So what does that bring us down onto next? What about the table? Can you see the table? Of course you can see everything. So this white table is a really cheap IKEA table. I went and bought 3 of them from somebody in Bristol for £10 each. It's not quite tall enough, so it's on stilts to get it up high enough, and it's screwed to the wall, so it's not going to move. And this is just a piece of kitchen worktop that my dad gave me. He's just had his kitchen done, so we put a piece of kitchen worktop on the top of that white table, and that gives us a nice background for our overhead camera. Again, so the desk cost me £10, and it was a bit skanky, so I cut it up and put it in this corner. I've cut the edges off and screwed it to the wall, and then we added this worktop as well, which works really great. So let's go on to the iPad. So the iPad is literally an old iPad Air that my wife got for me for Christmas years and years and years ago, and recently it's not been really being used, so I've added a Trello app. I don't know if you've ever used Trello, but you should be if you're making YouTube videos. It's really handy. And I've got all my video ideas on the app. So here they are. Here are all the video ideas that I've got, and I'll be making them at some point in the future. And it's nice to just have a list, and every time I think of something when I'm driving around in the car, I'll be like, right, stop, pull over, add it to the list, and then when I get home I can think, right, what's my point of this video? Where are the steps going in this video? And then I can make a new list, which is today's videos, and then I'll go in here on the computer, add all of the things that I want to talk about, all of the points, and then I've got a pre-written video, if that makes sense. So this is ready to go, and I can just stand in front of the camera, glance at this every now and again, and then I don't get off track as much as I used to. So I used to really just go off on tangents all over the place, and I still do that to a degree, but not as much when I'm using Trello. So that's basically all the kit that I use. I don't use this at all. This sits in a box. So this is the main kit that I use for making the videos. And then the final thing is over here. And I only got this yesterday. I don't know whether you can see that. I'm going to bring you over here just so you can see this little button, because it's really clever. There we go. Woohoo! Right. Let's put that back up and let's spin the microphone back round. There we go. So you can still hear me. So this little button, yeah, you can see. Can you see this? No, let's just lift you up a little bit. There we go. So this little button is a wireless transmitter that goes to this extension lead. Now this extension lead, I think it's made for old people. So they like a big button. But I thought, that looks cracking. That could do the whole YouTube setup in one fell swoop. So I can push this button, all the lights go off, all the power goes off, the iPad turns off. It doesn't turn off, but it's not being charged anymore. So as soon as I leave the YouTube setup, I can push this button and it'll either turn it on or turn it off. It's really, really handy. So I've got one extension lead coming from over by where that light was that you saw a second, and it comes down here, around here, and under the desk. Under the desk there's 6 sockets at the moment. I think I need to add a couple more because I've got some new lights coming and they're going to need to go in this setup as well. But that button just turns it all off, so I'm nice and energy efficient when I'm making my videos. I can just turn that on as soon as I walk up, and all the monitors turn on, all the cameras turn on, and it's really handy. That's pretty much the whole setup at the moment. There is going to be a light being added to this, like I said a second ago, but that's going to get its own individual video. And I will be doing a video of the shed soon. I promise. People keep asking me, when's the video of the shed coming? It will be soon. It's not quite finished. It's 90% done, but I want to finish that last 10%, and it might be a couple more weeks before that's done. Might even be a couple more months before that's done. But basically, there's no lining on the ceiling at the moment, and it kind of ruins the feel of the shed. The shed's amazing. I love the shed. I can't believe I'm in the shed, but I need to finish that before I make a video about it. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions or comments about this setup, I'd really love to hear them. I was talking to somebody on Facebook earlier who was saying, oh, I'd really like a tour of the setup, so that's why I made this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow.